Well, it's been about 2 weeks since I visited my antique booth, and so I'm hoping that when I get in there, there's going to be lots of open spaces where I can put some new stuff that I have for the booth. So let's go and find out. I'm just taking a quick look around the booth to see if there are any blank spaces, meaning something sold from that spot, and to just kind of figure out where I'm going to put new stuff. Also, if someone else's merchandise ended up in my booth, that happens a lot. Kids will pick up something and decide against it, and then their parents tell them to put it down, and it ends up in the wrong booth. There's a riser that's open. That's exciting. So I'm just kind of checking around, and it looks like after almost 2 weeks, I do have some room. A pie dish sold from that plate display, which is nice because I can put something else there in that focal point. Looks like something is missing from that spot. That's my false graph shelf. And just kind of straightening things up that might have gotten crooked. There's a toy that ended up in the wrong booth. And I need to find a better spot for those ashtrays because no one will see them down there. My Beanie Babies. I've been working on the focal point, basically right smack dab on the back wall in the middle of the booth, and I like what I've come up with the cookbooks being displayed. They have a very vintage vibe, and the Japanese stoneware, I decided to put that out because I just love the look of it. I wish I could get that plate up a little bit higher, the dinner plate, but I'm afraid if I put it on a riser that it will just end up falling off and getting broken and breaking everything. I do have my Art Deco anchor hawking grease jar and the flour shaker. The sugar shaker that I have has already sold. Those are on the left in front of the Good with Fruit cookbook. And then in front of that, I have my new Spice of Life casserole dish. A couple more fall color stoneware pieces in the front. Those are soup mugs. So overall, I'm happy with this focal point. I think it's very fall-like and very comforting. I just wish I had a little bit more height on the right side. Maybe I should switch and put the plate in the middle and put that cookbook on the right side. I'm not sure. I will figure it out before I leave. All right, here's the finished booth. And so I thought I would just point out some of the newer things that I put in the booth today. You might recognize some of these from recent thrift haul videos. But there's my mason jar salt and pepper shakers. These are popular in our neck of the woods in North Georgia. And here are my new Squishmallows. I've just kind of put them with my Beanie Babies. They're not vintage, but there's just something about them I really like. So I put those in there since I was having trouble finding Beanie Babies. Here's my new joke book that I got at the estate sale, and the Hummel that I got in an estate sale. That's a music box. My Art Deco perfume bottle, and some other Avon pieces. And over here is my focal point, my CorningWare, and all of that stuff which I showed you. My Japanese stoneware plates. I just love that pattern with the daisies on them. And the store was really busy, so I just decided I had kind of fiddled with this focal point enough. And next time when I come back in a couple of days to work the cash register, I'll probably revisit that focal point again. Here are my Nido plates from a recent thrift haul video. Those are also Japanese stoneware. This red stuff is Metlocks, made in California. I think it's lovely. It's been here a while, so that means that I may need to mark it down. There's the gravy boat. And that's a new golden seated glass vase. Unfortunately, I have only sold one of those. I was so excited when I found them at Goodwill, but they haven't been hot sellers at all. Live and learn. This is my very last piece of my pottery that I got at that estate sale where everything was 75% off. It's studio pottery and it's just signed Aaron with the year. I love this casserole dish. It's just so nice and chunky and sturdy, and I love the handle. Here are some more Japanese stoneware little pots, soup crocks, I guess. I love them, but I don't love the way I have them displayed. You can't see how pretty they are, so I need to bring something in to stand one of them up. I'll stand up the prettiest one, I think. And here's my new Hallmark vintage recipe box and my new bud vase by Russ. Another bud vase I've had for a little bit. Here's my books along with my brand new Lewis Carroll book that I got at the estate sale recently. My cups and my covered wagon metal art. I've had it forever and I'm not willing to give it away. It is a really special piece. I've already marked it down, actually. I'm not happy with the way these pink frosted glasses are displayed. They're just not showing up, so I need to do something a little bit better for them. Here are my vintage ashtrays. At least you can see them, but I also kind of wish they were more visible. I think I need to stop buying CorningWare blue cornflour because I have a ton of it and I need to let some of it sell before I pick up more of it. This is a newer casserole dish for my booth, and it is just a really nice piece. Andrea by Sadek. The pattern is Spring Night. Got 33 on it, and it's been here for a while. Here are my new insulators, which I just got at an estate sale and put in the booth today. Love the color turquoise on those. Here are my Texaco collector's toys at the bottom. They're not breakable, so I put them on the bottom. That way, if people want to rummage through them, I'm not worried about them breaking. And my vintage toys and puzzles are on the bottom shelf as well for kids to be able to reach them. Here's my false graph shelf. I love that pattern. I'm not sure why those haven't sold yet, but they've been there forever. And here are my retro fondue pots. I've had this for a while. And there's a mid-century modern tray below it, which has been here forever too. It's just because people can't see it. I just have too much stuff. I have a lot of stuff. My new Audrey Hepburn Life magazine from 2008. Some aluminum vintage kitchen canisters. I expect to have them for a while. And my few pieces of precious moments that I have left. My crocheted animals that I make, and my doilies that I purchased at Goodwill. So pretty. I love the rose and the peach. They're actually tortilla warmers. They're Mexican, but they could be used for so many things. I feel pretty good about the way the booth turned out. There's still some areas where I just don't like the way it looks, or I feel like things are not very visible, and I just need to get in there and work on that. I picked up my paycheck for the second 2 weeks of October, and I did really well. Things are really picking up because it's fall, and fall is like pretty much our busiest season here in North Georgia. So here's what our booth sales report looks like. That's in the envelope with all of our booth tickets and our check. So for that last 2 weeks in October, I did really well. That was the amount that I made, and then I have to subtract the 10% from that. That's the commission that the store gets on every purchase. And then I love going through my tickets and just seeing what's sold. If you are interested in learning more about exactly what kinds of things sell for me in my antique booth and what the profit margin is on each individual item, I do that in my booth sales report videos, and I have a whole playlist of those, so I will link that playlist in the end card. So make sure that you check that out if you're just interested in what is selling and how much I'm able to make on individual things. Well, thank you so much for watching today, and as always, I look forward to seeing you again in the next video.